We need leadership understood as service. We need leaders that they are passionate about their own truth, but they know that being convinced of their truth doesn't mean that other people don't have their own truth. We need new organizations. The problem is that the word organizations often leads us to think about very structured and very hierarchically structured organizations, no? And I think that the kind of organizations we need are different. We will need to make a big shift in our minds to understand what organizations in a new way. A bunch of people that all believe that they have the truth, they are condemned to collaborate. If they don't, they will kill each other. It's just so easy. We all perceive that everything is changing in a fast pace, that we are not able to cope with that change, but it's mostly adaptative change, by which organizations and systems adapt themselves to changes in their environment or internally. But intentional change is very rare. A process by which an organization or even a person sets a direction and keeps that direction no matter what until it's implemented, that's very rare. The way I use the word transformation is to convey the idea that we have to change the way of changing towards farther than the linear or even systemic way of thinking. We have to take a leap farther down the road than the systemic thinking. And in my opinion, that's the field theory approach that we need to work from. The desired future is something that opens. An objective and a goal is something that closes the future. It's not so much about making a team of change agents where they all agree on a direction, but they all agree about how different can we be and still work together. How different agendas can we have and still be operative? How can they define a desired future for their system where all their agendas are included? And how would that future look like? How can I help them to conceive themselves as Trojan horses within this vast system? They have the right to push for their own agendas, while at the same time they know that at some point they will meet resistance, and at that moment they will need to enter in dialogue with the resistance to their proposals and their agenda. I hope that great curiosity about learning more about this field, because I believe that is the field of the future. So, I think that it's a huge field. There's a huge need out there of change. No, I wouldn't say Glocal agents of intentional transformation. That's the name I have given to this profession. Glocal agents of intentional transformation, and that's what I want to dedicate the rest of my professional life to promote this profession and to create a network of people, of peer support.
Eugenio Molini, thank you for meeting you here, so with being so gentle with your mood and so structured, and a big thanks and big hug to Adina Moise, having the idea of this today program and dedicating to change to shift. I think this is one of the most important things in our lives. Thinking that the life is a process of evolving or doing something, I don't know. Shall we start from your interview? You were home in a 3 years period, home in where it was placed, the interview.
Well, that interview, I think I was living in a monastery up in the mountains in the Pyrenees, in the north of Spain. And it wasn't because I came there because I wanted. It was because I was after a period of many years of being the hotshot, very important consultant, full of myself and arrogant and believing that I was the most important person in the world. So then lots of things began to go wrong in my life. So lots of doors began to get closed, both professionally and personally. About the divorce, I was earning a lot of money working with multinational companies, but it was completely meaningless what I was doing. And in the end, I didn't have anywhere to go. I felt that I was empty. And the only door that was open was to go to the monastery. So I went there.
You choose by chance this monastery, or?
No, the thing is that when in 2009 or 2010, I was writing a book. It's a book that you have seen there.
We have here the book.
Yeah. So, and I needed a place to go to stay to write it. So I went there for 1 month, and I was 1 month in this monastery, but not participating in anything, eating with the monks, but nothing else. I was just writing in my room and so on. So. But then I was still thinking that I was the big hotshot consultant and arrogant and so on. No? So I wrote the book.
We have the title of the book, so
I can speak more about the content later.
Okay.
No? But the way, so I knew the monastery. So I was there during 1 month, writing 8 to 10 hours a day, and then the book came out. And afterwards, when I was in trouble with myself, because I was in a very deep personal crisis, even if I was doing a lot of money, it was also a professional crisis, because I didn't know, I didn't find the meaning of what I was doing. No? So I remember I was working with a mining multinational in South Africa, and one night I just stopped. When we finished the teamwork, I went out for a walk. It was a national park in South Africa, and I began to walk, and I woke up again at 12 in the night. I came to myself, became aware where I was. It was completely dark. I heard the lions and the hyenas, and I said, oh, good, because nobody will think that I'm so stupid that I took my life through lions. I was so bad that I was thinking about taking my life. No? So, but then I thought, but I hope that it's the lions that eat me, not the hyenas. No. And I said, oh, Eugenio, you are in deep, deep trouble. So when I found back to the hotel where we were, I called, I finished the work as well as I could. It wasn't very good. And when I came back to Barcelona, where I was living at the moment, I called a friend that was a psychiatrist. I told him that this is bad, and he told me, you are such in a bad shape that I need to put you in the psychiatric hospital. And I said, would you mind if I, instead of going to the hospital, I go to a monastery? And he said, it's okay. So I called the monastery and I tell, this is the problem I have, and they said, come here. And that was the only door that was open, because I couldn't go back to the home with my former wife, because we didn't have a good relationship. Everything, my work didn't have any meaning for me. So let's go to the monastery. And then I thought that it would be for a couple of weeks, and I was there nearly 3 years. And then that's when all the path to the monastery where this interview was made, the one we were looking at for a while.
Impressive, this period of your life. And I think many of us listening to you, we can recognize ourselves in having kind of meaningful jobs, maybe with money, but not finding the essence, and that's something that keeps us alive with hope. And
for me, it wasn't enough to go into this deep crisis. It wasn't enough with the meaningless work. I needed also to have a personal crisis, like, for example, my wife thinking that I wasn't the man in her life, and leaving me, and so on. I needed something more than that. Only the work, I suppose that I would have been going on doing it. I needed more in order to do this crisis. That it was, said, the beginning of a big shift in my life, both personally and professionally.
Started involuntary, so
I didn't seek it. So
yes, it came like this.
It happened. But I suppose that I can always look back and see what mistakes did I make in my life to put myself in that situation. Yes, of course. No, I don't relinquish responsibility. Of course, I take decisions, and they put me in places where I shouldn't be. No.
If you get sick, if your soul sick, your body is sick, those are the signs that a change have to be done. But many of us are not able to voluntarily see the signs and make the change.
Yeah.
So this is, I think, a key concept. Voluntary changing,
intentional change,
intentional change before having a disaster in your life.
I don't know. I think that maybe some people can do that. No, it was impossible for me. I needed to go down deep before I understood. No, some people understand earlier. I was very thick-headed and thick-hearted, so I needed a big hit in order to understand that.
Wow, beautiful way of seeing things. Our producer Roxana kindly asked you to speak about those items, the backpack and the chair, having you here, because it's unusual in a television to have those items near the guest.
Yeah, well.
O jucărie modernă necesită o baterie puternică. Față de alte baterii, Duracell Turbo Max are un design triplu perfecționat pentru a învinge chiar și într-o cursă dificilă. Duracell Turbo Max, numărul 1 de la Duracell, putere maximă.
Este în natura noastră să aspirăm către armonie și echilibru, să ne dorim un spațiu special, dedicat sănătății și mobilității. Un loc care naște frumusețe, inspiră putere și aprinde pofta de a trăi sănătos. Premium Wellness Institute. Healthy body, healthy soul.
Din martie ai cod roșu de filme noi. Acțiune.
Spiders happen to be my specialty. I become a spider to catch a spider.
Just what the hell you think you're doing, cowboy?
You know how to use one of these things?
Yeah.
Thriller.
Tell me again what happened.
I've told you.
I still need you to explain. We need to confront it head on.
We're gonna need a miracle.
Comedie.
So mommy tells me that you're interested in girls now.
On the side!
On the side, I got it, babe.
Morning, Stacy. You got a tough one there, my friend.
We should just kill her.
Sure.
Din martie la TVH. Dacă le știi pe toate sau dacă vrei să afli cât mai multe, dacă vrei să câștigi sau dacă vrei să încerci să câștigi, înscrie-te la concursul Crezi că știi? Sună la 0755 017 448 sau scrie-ne pe e-mailul crezcăștii@tvh.ro sau la adresa de Facebook a emisiunii.
Te cheamă tactul.
Facem nunta duminică.
Păi duminică vine circul. Joi?
O facem joia aia.
Ce zici, profesore? Cum ar sta îmbrăcată mireasă?
Dumneavoastră vă stă mai bine dezbrăcată.
Hei! Liniște!
Nuntă mută, în regia lui Horațiu Mălăele, luni seară de la 8, la TVH.
I have been traveling since I left the monastery. I have been traveling 250 days a year. I haven't had a home. I left the monastery in the beginning of 2015. So it's 2 years ago, no? And I didn't have a home. Some friends opened, when they knew that I was leaving the monastery, they told me, you have a room in our home in Madrid, Spain, and that has been my base during these 2 years, no? But I can say that I have been there only 44 to 50 days every year in that room. I am very thankful to these friends that opened their home with very generosity. But my real home, it has been this backpack. Here is where I have my computer, my passports, some money, my credit cards, a couple of books, and my notebooks like this one. My notebooks like this one, where I have everything I teach in some hand drawings.
Yeah. May I show to the camera your drawings?
Yes. So, and this is what I teach. I am a low-tech person, meaning that I prefer I prefer to draw than using the computer. So, and that's one of the most important things I have here, no? The computer I can get, but that book I can't. So when I left the monastery, I was saying, well, I can go anywhere in the world using my, as long as I have my backpack, no?
Yeah.
2 days after I left the monastery, it got stolen. My home got stolen. Yes. I was in a very deep crisis during 1 hour, and then afterwards I said, okay, I don't even need that. I don't need anything to live and to do my work, no? Because everything I have, the real important things, are here and are here.
Wow.
So when I left the monastery, I said, okay, this is my home, this is the important stuff, and it got stolen. So I don't need even that.
Eugenio, usually we have 10,000 objects, something like that, and we have our personal feeling of being stable projected in those items, in those objects.
I know that
How
one.
does it feel to have not even a backpack?
It's a long process, no? It's a long process. When I moved from Sweden to Spain in 2008, I moved with a whole container full of all my things. No? After, when I left the monastery, I had only the backpack and my clothes and 10 books, no more. No? I thought that the backpack and the 10 books were important. They are not.
Not even that.
Not even that. It feels free. To get rid of everything feels free. When you have already accepted that you don't have anything. But the way to acceptance, that's very painful. You have to let go of everything. No?
To let go, yes. What do we have, in fact? What do we have? What do we own?
That's a good question. I don't have the answer. I don't have the answer. I know that what is important for me now is here and is here. And some relationships with some people, very few. Very few. And well, it's also important for me, the most important thing, the only thing that has organized my life since that interview and since what I learned in the monastery is my calling, my vocation. No? And that's what, when I began, after healing myself a little bit in the monastery, and the only medicine was silence.
The silence.
The only medicine in the monastery was silence.
And the medicine is connected with the chair. Maybe
yes, we can go into that later, if it's okay.
Yes, please.
Okay. So, when I was enough healed, I began to say, okay, this is not my place. The monastery is not my place for the rest of my life. If I go out to the world again, what shall I do? I can't go on doing what I was doing before, or I can go on doing what I was doing, but it has to be in a different way and with a different meaning. And the thing is that in silence, meditation, I found out that the most interesting people I have met in my whole life, they have one trait in common, and it's always people that wanted to change their world, their organization, their neighborhood, the valley they live in, their city, whatever, their school. They try to change, and they notice that they are causing pain to other people and to themselves. With the good intention of changing the world, they are hurting themselves and other people. And I said, if this is the most interesting people I have met in my whole life, then that's what I want to do, support these people, to try to change the world with less pain for others and for themselves. No? In order to do that, that has been the only thing that has organized my life since and that's why I can travel as much as I have been doing. No? Going anywhere where there's some people that want my support. It can be some big companies, it can be some small NGO, it can be whatever. No? And in order to do that, then I need silence. I work with words and with presence and with speaking with people, but in order to my words come from my heart and from the deep of my calling, no? I need silence, and that's where this stool comes. This is my monastery on the road. So with my backpack and the monastery on the road, I can go anywhere. I can go also without it, but it's good to have. No? And this is the way it looks. The way I use it in the hotel rooms or anywhere I live, I put it, and then I just sit and silent. Sometimes like this, sometimes like this. and just say, okay, what's the point of life? What do I need to do now? And then wait. And then I can go out to work. Then I can go out to work with people and be ready for whatever happens. No? Yeah.
To let go.
Yeah, let go of my own ambition, but not of my vocation, my deep intention of supporting people to change their world with less pain for themselves and others. That is something I can't let go. But that's the only thing, really, I can't let go. I don't want to let go. Maybe at some point I will understand that I have to let go of that too, but not for the time being. That's what is the meaning of my life and work, no?
Eugenio, I was particularly interested about the goals of life, of course. When you find a goal, of course, this is not permanent. It's a kind of game.
You see, I would like to introduce a difference here.
Yeah.
It's not the same thing intention than goal.
Okay.
No?
Being in tension, so tension in.
Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't think about it like that, but it's intention. But intention is something that is here and now.
Yeah.
And organizes my acts and
In
my
the present
thinking
time,
in the present.
the power of present.
But the goal is something that is in the future,
Okay.
something where I want to go. And I have no goals. I don't need goals.
So
the only thing I need is to know why do I do what I do just now.
Okay.
And that's here and now.
Here and now. So
And that's what makes that life has a purpose. If I put a goal, the purpose is to get there. And that's a completely different story.
There is a mirage in a way.
Yeah,
There, yes.
but you never know.
Yeah.
So I believe more in horizons than in goals. You know, a goal is like going up to a mountain.
Yes, all right.
No? So
Different
you go up to a
images.
mountain, and then you go there, and then you're on top, and then you look everywhere, and then it's okay. But the horizon is
end.
open. The horizon is something where it's a general direction, and the only thing you know is where you are in relationship to that horizon.
Yeah. Intention in the present towards the horizons.
Yeah, and the horizon is very clear. The horizon is how to build a world where love is possible. No? Love in business, love in whatever, no? Yeah. So.
So now you answer in a way to the question, who is now Eugenio Molini? Who is it?
The shortest now is I am the guy that's speaking with you here. No, longest is I am Eugenio, that is finding a way of multiplying the effects of my calling. No, I can also say I am a grandparent since last summer, and that's a very important change in my life. I can say that after 5 years of not having a home, just last week I decided to sign the contract for an apartment, and I look forward towards bringing all the pieces of me together to the same place. But I will go on traveling the same. I am the guy that is getting ready to hold a workshop next weekend here in Bucharest.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Luckily
to try
for us.
to teach my art and craft. Yeah.
Changing the way of changing things, the world and ourselves. Can we explore this now?
Okay.
This dimension, very important. So it's kind of paradox to change. A different perspective came to you through your life change.
Yeah, well, I had heard about this philosophy of change and thought that I was working using that, but it was not true. I was just speaking about it, but I didn't experience it myself. No, and change is the only constant. No,
impermanence.
Yeah, the only permanent thing is change. No, that's true. But the kind of change that is permanent, that is happening all the time, is non-intentional. Is adaptative. Yes. We adapt to things that happen. No? The intentional change, the one you want and you pursue, that's very rare. No? So my work is to help organizations become aware of the way they are adapting so that they can decide which way they want to go intentionally. No? That means that, let's see if I can explain, because this is very simple and very complicated, very complex, not complicated, complex. The moment there is an intention to change and a movement toward change, there is a movement in the other direction for no change. No? We call it resistance or inertia. No? So, how can you design, how can we design change processes where it has the same relevance to resist than to want to change? No? And that's very counterintuitive. Most people don't get it. We have been taught, and we see it all the time, all over the world, and on the television, everywhere, no? That we try to change something, and the moment we encounter resistance, we have to push harder, harder, harder. No?
The more the resistance,
the
more
the
you
resistance.
push. Yes.
No, and the thing is that that's not the way of doing it, because then we hurt other people, or we hurt ourselves, or we destroy organizations, or we destroy value, or whatever. No, and the organization will always change in a different way in the one that you want to influence it. No, so it's how can I help these people that want to change to understand that they need to support the resistance.
They need to support the
in order for it to let go. Because the resistance will get stronger the more you hit it. So the moment you let go, not of your intention of change, but of trying to win over the resistance, a whole new different process of change is possible.
Allow the resistance.
And you invite it.
Invite it.
Yeah. And there are techniques. There are techniques, very specific techniques about how to do it.
Can we have a short example? So a kind of resistance.
A new boss comes to a company, no? And then after some weeks, he says, then now we need to go in this direction instead of that direction. And people that are in the company have invested a lot of time and a lot of energy and a lot of knowledge in going in the old direction. No?
Yes.
And that's, in some way, it's inertia. They just want to go on doing the way they have been doing, just by inertia, but at some point they maybe believe that this is better. This is better. And the new one is the boss and says, no, we have to go in this direction. No. So the mistake that most change agents, like this new boss, do is that they tell the people that want the old way, that they have done everything wrong before. And nobody wants to hear that.
Yes.
When you say that, what you are doing is giving more strength to the resistance. No. So the way of doing it is to say, okay, we need to turn into this direction, but we know that you have done good things until now, because if not, we wouldn't be here where we are now. So let's see what of the things that you have done we can keep doing because they are important and they are good, and what are the things that we need to let go. That's a completely different way of approaching it than saying, now we go in this direction, you forget about what you have been doing. But that's... No.
In a way, it's about dealing with people, you know. It's a narcissistic role play. If you tell somebody you are wrong, nobody may accept. So what you are telling is to address to the people, recognizing their valuable contribution until that point. So it's a kind of same level communication, and not something like you do it like this, your mistake.
Well, there are several things in what you are saying that I would like to comment. One is that it's not necessarily narcissistic. It can be only that we haven't seen anything else. If you don't know any other way of doing it, then you do the way you have been taught, even if you don't feel uncomfortable with it, but you don't know how to do it differently. No? So many times it's just that people need to see that there are different ways, and then they say, wow, and then they do it. No? And the other thing is that many management schools teach how to manipulate people. And they teach. You just tell them that it's good, you have been doing good things, but now we need to go in this direction.
So to control.
Or just to seduce. If you can't seduce, if you can't control, you seduce. That's the two things. Is you either compete and win over the others, or you try to seduce your employees. No, that's the two management tools, leadership tools they use most of the time. But when they teach in a management school that you need to listen to your employees, is what the second part is, so that they do what you want them to do while they think that it's what they want. And that's no, and that's manipulative. No.
So not to manipulate, not to use people, but to consider them. So this is the root of your perspective.
Yeah, you could say that. But you know, at the root of my perspective, there's a thing that is deeper than what you are saying, and it's people change when they want to. Period. If people don't want to change, they don't change.
Okay.
No, it's just like that. No, they would be forced to change. But that doesn't mean that they support and embrace the change you want.
Yeah.
No. So the first thing you need to do is to believe that the change you want to implement is right. At the same time, you need to respect that people will accept it if they want to.
If they want to.
If they don't want to, it doesn't matter what you do. No? You maybe force them. You may be able to force them to do this.
With no result.
What's the people know. You know, the best way of resisting, if you want to resist something and kill it, the best way is no resistance. Gandhi knew about it.
Yeah, no resistance.
No, so also when you don't want to do what your boss wants you to do, the best way of doing, tell me what to do. I do whatever you want.
Yes.
And then you kill it.
Yes.
Then he goes crazy. He can only become crazy and get a heart attack in the end.
Yeah.
Tell me what to do. I'm so stupid that, so that's the best way of killing change.
This is from Tao Te Ching. The weakness has no cannot be beaten, cannot be invest.
No, you have to kill the weak. It's the only thing. But then you have nobody to work for you. No? So the best way, if you want to kill something, some change, just say, tell me what to do. That's the no resistance at all.
For example, I'm very fat. I'm very fat, and I continue to eat. And I don't know, your cousin. So for you, I am a difficult person to look at and to see how is destroying himself in a way. If you tell me, please try to make exercises here, a kind of regime of something, diet, and it's not working.
No.
So in this way, is to accept it. And this
well, in interpersonal relationships, the most difficult thing is to love somebody while they are destroying themselves. No, that's the most difficult thing in interpersonal relationships. I understand that it's difficult. I think that it would be very difficult for me to do it if I saw my son, for example, doing something that is destroying him. No. But in the end, my only task as a father is to love him whatever he does in his life. No? So how much, well, and you see, this is a good example with my son. He's incredible because he told me for some weeks ago, I was trying to help him with something, no? And he told me, Papa, you are doing it to feel good yourself, not to help me. I said, I want to kill him. He was right. He was right, no? You see, so it's how many times we try to help the other one, the one we love, just because we need to feel good ourselves.
Okay.
No?
Not feeling guilty.
Not feeling guilty. So no. So there's a very messy and gray area there about what are our intentions, our motivation when we try to help somebody we love. No.
Yes.
But the thing is, my experience is that I have been able to make changes in my life when there has been somebody or an environment around me that loved me whatever I did.
So love is the background of every possible change.
Yes, because you know how most of us, we are used to being forced to change, no? Behave, and then they hit you. And then love me, and they hit you. And they do all those things, no? So, and hitting you can be giving you bad consciousness, giving you whatever. It doesn't work. It doesn't work, no?
Yes.
Acceptance is the only thing that works. And it's difficult. It's the most difficult thing in life.
And then many people are destroying themselves. Many organizations, companies are destroying themselves from within. How do you see this tendency towards destruction? How come from where? What is this?
I see that when there's a force for destruction, there's also a force for life. It's always there. So everywhere you can find
those two,
both of them. No? So in any organization that it's killing itself, you can see that there are forces and people that try to keep it alive or try to find ways of doing meaningful work and so on. No? So it's always like that. No? People say that nowadays humanity it's going into the most destructive period of life. And so, okay, that's true. But look at the other part. No? There's never been so many people out of poverty. There's never been so many people with health care. There's never been so we see both.
Force, yes.
No, we see both. No, what we don't know which of the forces will win. In the end, we don't know, but we can see both. No, we can see both.
Yes.
No.
Yes. Eugenio, we have, I think, 5-8 minutes. Please accept a Romanian book. What's mean this? It's a book about exploring mind and the main meanings of life and mysteries from For You Publishing House. And saying this, I was wondering about the bells that you have.
Well, first, thank you for the book.
Please.
I'm sorry that I will not be able to read it. But well, when I put it, now that I am going to have a home, I will put it among the 10 books I still have, and then I will remember my visit to Bucharest.
Yes, so we have the bells and also your book to say a few words about.
O jucărie modernă necesită o baterie puternică. Față de alte baterii, Duracell Turbo Max are un design triplu perfecționat pentru a învinge chiar și într-o cursă dificilă. Duracell Turbo Max, numărul 1 de la Duracell, putere maximă.
Este în natura noastră să aspirăm către armonie și echilibru, să ne dorim un spațiu special, dedicat sănătății și mobilității. Un loc care naște frumusețe, inspiră putere și aprinde pofta de a trăi sănătos. Premium Wellness Institute. Healthy body, healthy soul.
Pentru o viață sănătoasă, consumați zilnic minimum 2 litri de lichide.
The bells or the book first?
The bells, please. You have.
Okay. These bells are Tibetan meditation bells. Tingsha is the name of it, and I use them when I work with large groups, sometimes 300, 400 people, and in order to make them aware when they are in deep work, make them aware that they need to listen to a new instruction or something like that, no? The usual way of giving instructions is shouting, oh, no, I don't like to shout, no? So I do this and then put my hands up, and everybody that sees, and it's difficult with 300 people, no? Because not everybody hears this. They may be 50, 100 meters away while they are working, no? And then I put my hands up, and everybody that sees me put their hands up, put their hand up, and stop speaking. And then it doesn't take more than 30 seconds that 300 people go silent. But the experience when you shout is that it's like that. You try force for change. You want them to be silent and you try to make them silent by shouting. That's a contradiction. It doesn't work. It's like you say, no, you have to accept the resistance. People are engaged in their conversations. They need to be treated respectfully.
So again, Gandhi, be the change that you are asking.
Yeah, exactly.
Do yourself what do you require.
So this is a way of managing large groups of people in a non-violent way. And making them feel respected, because it's important. What they are speaking about is important.
More gently, more quietly you are, more capable you are to get to the people's heart and hear. Yes, this is the shift, the changing of the change.
The way of changing.
So supporting the resistance, going in the opposite way that the common sense are telling us to do. So usually that's it. So you have to shout.
And then
this
you
is
escalate.
The common sense.
Yeah, you escalate.
Escalate. So all the words are coming like this.
Yeah.
So Gandhi make possible the change because he understood it.
But the thing is that most managers in organizations and businesses, they believe that this way of doing things will make them lose money. And it's not true. They will earn much more money, and they will have much more committed people, and they will have. There's only one thing that they will not lose, and they will lose control of people, but they will earn more money and they will have more committed people. But the problem is that some people, many managers prefer to lose money, just they keep control. No?
An
and
inner need,
that's crazy.
That's an egoistic and inner need, I think.
And sometimes it's just because they don't know better. It's not. Sometimes it's that they are egoistic, narcissistic, and so on. But many times it's just they don't know better. They don't have experience.
This is an optimistic perspective. So the change is possible.
Yes, change is possible because when you teach people that there are different ways of doing things that produce better results, then everybody wants to do it.
Okay. Yes.
Except if they are control freaks, then they don't want.
No control. No. 3 minutes for your book, please.
Well, the book is exactly about that. It's a manual. It's a description about how can you design meetings and change processes in organizations that are hierarchically structured.
Okay. So we have to have it in Romanian translated. I hope.
Who was going to translate it? Not me. I can't.
Of course.
But it's free. It's free. You can download it. So it's free to translate. Anybody who wants to translate it.
Libro sobre participación genuina.
Genuine participation, and it's specifically for hierarchically structured organizations. How can you design change process where everybody participates? Well, everybody participates. Everybody you want to participate participates, but within a hierarchically structured organization. There are other kind of organizations, network organizations, communities, and so on. And then the principles written in the book are not exactly the same. It can be different. But this is optimized for hierarchically structured companies, organizations, and so on. How do you do? And it's full of examples when I have done wrong. Because I believe it's not full of success examples also, but the most important part is the mistakes I have made, because I have learned more from my mistakes, so then I want to share them. So some people would read the book and say, but this guy, he's just a failure. Well, but I prefer to share my mistakes than my successes.
Yes. Eugenio, it's a pleasure to find such a person like you, honest and authentic, and
Well, don't say that again, because then I may believe it. So better
not to believe it.
Yeah, better not to believe it.
Buddha said this. So you try to think and to doubt everything.
Well, you know, I am an arrogant type, no? So the moment I begin to believe something good about myself, then I can begin to believe it too much. So I prefer no. I do my work. I do my best, and it's okay. So I'm thankful for having been invited here, and thank you for your intelligent questions.
I'm also arrogant, so I'm grateful that you told me that I'm good. Okay. Shall we end? I have 1 minute in silence.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you again.
Thank you.